Oh, so we have to move on, and we have to do a little money moment on the show before we move on to do the next discussion. And
just give me a little, like a few seconds. I'm trying to get my 10 Ghana.
Okay, no problem. That's how it is. So, however you're gonna get it, please. This one is, I'm sure, from her purse or something, and we'll just get it on set and get everything running.
Yeah, I just want to remind our viewers of some of the things that we're going to do before 9 a.m. This story about two Ghanaians who are trying to seek refuge, who in the process lost their fingers and toes.
And they became handicapped.
Exactly. Yesterday, when we saw the story on my John Line, I was like,
I think we were showing the pictures.
Okay. I was like, okay.
I don't know whether we have it.
Is it worth it? Yeah, we have it. We're actually going to tell, it's almost like a 2-minute story, as told by CBC News.
We have it?
Yeah, we have it. What we're going to do, and Maxwell Agbagba is gone out, he's going to sit down with some students, because young people, most young people really feel like they can't make it here in Ghana.
Look, when I finished school, I also thought I wanted
Everybody wanted to run away.
I applied twice to the U.S. Embassy, and they bounced me.
They bounced you. Yeah. They didn't know you were Roland
I think I know. No. At the time, I was no, and I think I should have applied to the UK because at the time you could travel to the UK very often.
Okay.
Yeah. But I know the UK was hard at the time, and well, not too difficult, but it was not as rosy as being the US.
Okay.
The US was always the anything Yankee. Charlie, I go Yankee.
So Maxwell is going to share the story with some students and get their reaction to it. That's coming up. But there's also an incident that happened in Kumasi yesterday. The Kumasi Technical Institute. Some of the students clashed with some security personnel. We're told that an asthmatic patient also collapsed in the process and couldn't breathe. Erastus Asari-Donko covered that for us. He will join us, but I guess we're in good time to do our little money moments. Then we'll move on.
Okay, so we have to put it in. This is just symbolic. Mine is for holidays at the close of the year. Okay. So
that's your thing.
A holiday.
Roland, did you pay yesterday?
Yes, I did. I think I even paid for you.
You paid for me yesterday. I doubt. Okay, so there we have it, and we encourage you.
I'm surprised
that your little
all the
little
good things
money
I'm doing for you don't
really
appease you.
Okay.
Well, women are always like that.
We encourage you to save something small. The leftovers, what you have left in your purse, your wallet, the little coins, that's running around in your car and elsewhere. Find a box, a piggy bank, whatever you call it, a susu box, and keep some in there because you will need it someday. Someday when you can't go to the bank to go and get a loan, someday when you cannot disinvest because you need the money, like right now, the box may come in handy.
You can go and liquidate your fixed deposit or something.
Exactly. So we encourage you to save. Now let's first of all tell the story of the Kumasi Technical Institute, because students of Kumasi Technical Institute in the Ashanti region on Tuesday clashed with security forces on their way back from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, where they are taking part in an inter-school sports competition. As part of celebrations, the students reportedly blocked roads leading to their school, causing heavy traffic in the process. The situation became even more chaotic after they reportedly began assaulting police officers. Some students reportedly pelted the police with stones and bent car tires on the streets. We'll bring you that story in a bit, but let's move on to Maxwell Agbagba now, who has pitched camp with some students, some young people, to share the story of these two Ghanaians who are trying to seek refuge elsewhere. In the process, they've lost their fingers and their toes. All right, we're ready to run. What are your thoughts?
We have Ghana Federation of the Disabled. So I think the next month, the Canadian Border Patrol and the courts should bring them back to Ghana. We'll take care of them. It's not a problem. We have physically challenged people around, so they can survive in Ghana.
Okay.
But
hey, wait.
What was the excuse
It's good. We're not really taking your thoughts right now. Let's cross over to Maxwell Agbagba, who is with a group of students. Maxwell, if you can hear me, take it over.
Yeah, hello, Mama V.
So Maxwell, tell us where you are and who you are with, and then share the story with them. Let's get their reaction.
Okay, so Mama V, we are here on the campus of AUCC, and I have with me some students of AUCC actually, and we're here to show them the video making rounds of a Ghanaian refugee who went outside Ghana and had to suffered frostbite, and it's actually a chilling video. But we are here on this compound to find out from these students what they make of this video. We know a lot of them, you know, a lot of tertiary students would want to go outside. Some of them, when they come back, the best word to describe them is swagnificent, swagger and then magnificent. We know how they really would want to travel outside. So we're going to show this video to them and then find out from them what they make of it and whether they think the risk is worth taking. So Mama V, want to show the video to them right now so that they watch it and then so we can take their views on this. Yes, so.
Hope that they will accept us and we be among the people of Canada.
Razak Lyle and Saidu Mohammed are recovering and grateful.
I think with the good people surrounding us, good people around us, everything gonna be okay with us.
Just over a month ago, these two men from Ghana made their way into Canada near Emerson. Frostbite has taken their fingers. It almost took their lives. Both still believe the risk was worth it.
I have life, and we have to thank God too. We are still alive.
They say what's happening south of the border is making refugee claimants fearful, afraid of being deported to their home countries, where their safety is even more at risk.
Now people decided that let's come to Canada and try.
This is Emerson, right next to the U.S. border.
These are U.S. buildings right here, and anything on this side is Canada, and that's where they would probably cross right and go on comfortably across the tracks.
Frank Suderman has seen people do just that.
They try to walk somewhere where they're not so, where they're inconspicuous, so that not people don't see them that easy until they get into town. And once they get into town, it's okay. You don't mind.
Some have ended up on the front steps of the Emerson Hotel. Wayne File says he has seen at least 30 to 40 people in the last few months. He's even rented a couple of rooms to a group of 6 that included 2 women and a baby.
They're like everyone else. Human beings, they want to start a new life.
Even with the new challenges ahead of them, that's what these men want.
Know that we are here to achieve our dreams.
The next step to reach those dreams is next month, when the hearing to accept their refugee status will be held. Megan Fiddler, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Okay, so guys, you've seen the video, chilling video, I might say. Let's start a conversation. First of all, was it a risk worth taking? Let me start with you.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
Why?
Because if you want to see greener pastures outside and you lose your fingers, how are you going to work towards your dream? You need your fingers and your hands to work. So I don't think it was worth it.
Now, Timothy, you said you call him
Timothy. Timothy is the name.
Tell me, what do you make of the video? Was the risk worth taking?
To them it was, because you could hear from them saying that once they have life, it's good for them. And going to fulfill that dream, maybe to them, just being in the United States or Canada, it's a dream to them. So to them, it was worth taking. But for me, on my take, it wouldn't be a risk to take in going in that means, yes.
Now, let me find out from you, Abna. Abna, they say the grass is always greener on the other side. Is there any justification for these two people to travel outside and say, look, we are braving all the odds to go and make money outside Ghana? Was it worth taking? Was it a risk worth taking?
Well, to me, I would say no, because it's not as easy as everyone is thinking. It's out there. Because if you get there without the right document, there is no way you'll be able to survive. So if people are saying there is greener pastures out there, I don't buy to that, because it is not true. It is not as easy as people are thinking. Because getting there and everything out there, it's paperwork. So if you don't pass through the right channel to get there, and then you get there, well, basically you're going to go through hell, just like the we saw on the video, you left your family here with your fingers, your all hands to that country, and then you got there coming back with a different, coming back with with not all your fingers that you went there with. So basically, what are you going to work with? And besides, I believe with your 10 fingers in this country, if you really work hard and if you want to make it in life, you will be able to make it here in this country without traveling. So I don't see the worthiness of this, or of they traveling outside the country. I don't see it.
Interested. Are you going to be the only dissenting view on the subject matter?
No, I don't support it, because looking at the video, the risk wasn't worth it, because losing all your fingers, going numb because of frostbite wasn't worth it, because you have to use your fingers to work. Even going there, you have to use your fingers to work, and without your fingers, you can't work. And the most challenging thing is
how, I mean, people, suffer in the cold. I mean, we see a lot of troubles that immigrants would go through and all of that.
Yeah. And the most challenging thing is going through all the immigration and the hassles and tussles and the grinds. It's not worth it. You could have stayed here in Ghana and be an MP or be a member of parliament. Yeah, and you could have achieved something. You could have made your family, who they want to be. But going there and losing all your fingers, it's not worth it. That's my take.
Some young people be desperate to travel for various reasons, some of them for prestige, some of them to make money and all of that. But Timothy, let us into your mind and, share with us why some young people would be desperate to travel outside.
To go outside, if it's for a worthy purpose, maybe to school, to work, or you've been invited by someone to come and stay for holidays, it's worth it. But the motivation is to see what the other world has for us. There are opportunities though over there, but being here, you can also make it. You can still make it. We are prominent people in Ghana making it, not going outside. Yes, to me, if I'm given the opportunity to go to the States or anywhere outside Ghana, I will do that. What motivates me is to have a feel of the other world.
Wait, so do you want to be swagnificent, as I said earlier, or you want to develop your cultural competence? Which of these? What will be the motivating factor?
The most motivating factor will be the significance of it, yeah. At least Boga has to come back to Ghana and say that, yeah, I've got it. But aside that, you need to make ends meet out of it. If you come back with nothing, with this, the swag, and you can't make anything, then what's worth going outside? Okay. So at least the swag should be there, and there should be something to come home with.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Sarkodie said what? Boga. But tell me, what do you think is the motivating factor for some of these young people who are desperate to just go outside the borders of Ghana? It doesn't matter whether it's Togo or like Benin or anything. They just want to go outside, sit in the plane and go outside.
Anyway, they feel they can make more money when they go outside. They feel it's easy over there until they get there and they realize it's not that easy. So I think the motivating factor for them is they see people, like how they see on TV, people wearing big shoes and big watches and stuff. They think if they go, they can get the same thing easily. But then it's not that way.
But do you think that we've had an indoctrination, or we've had some kind of indoctrination? So young people watch music videos and they see a lot of these things. They watch soap operas and they see a lot of those things. They watch telenovelas, they see a lot of these things. There's even a song that says that get rich quick or die trying. 50 Cent, right? Yeah. Do you think there's some kind of indoctrination with what we consume as young people? Music, movies?
Well, I think yes, to an extent, because it's the videos or the movies or what have you that we watch on TV, basically it's deposited at the back of our minds that if you get there, everything is cool, and therefore you can get rich early or quick and then come back to your country, or probably even leave there, have your family and stuff like that. But basically, if we're all going to leave this country to that place, well, then who is going to develop this country? And I don't really see the worthiness of traveling outside without the right without going through the right procedure. Because if you do that, you're eventually going to go through hell when you get that out there. So I think no, I don't really buy it. I think the media basically would have to sometimes have to sieve whatever that they're showing out to the youth, and more like brainwashing us on whatever that we do here. I think out there it's not as easy, or it's not as greener as they think it is. If you're passing through the right channel to go out there, cool, why not? You go there, and then if you're having the intention of going to do something, let's say going for school and then coming back to develop your country, it's a good idea. But who told you that is the only place you can make it? People are here, they've never traveled before, but they're making it big time here in this country. So why do you think? If you can't work here, equally you can't go there and work, because I don't really see so much about you traveling outside and then making it big to come to this country. Yes, it's hard work, it's sweat, bloodshed is what they use to develop their countries. Why can we do it here? We can also do the same. And if we're really taking it back to slave trade and whatever, it's we basically are the people who made the Americans, the UKs and the Canada and all that. We made the country because basically we helped build the country, because they came to take our able people out there, and then they made those countries where they are today. So why can we do that here in our country? But rather than living here, especially the youth that we always claim they are the future of the country, are traveling outside to seek for greener pastures or something.
We're wrapping up on this conversation, but I want to find out from you, would you brave the odds to do this? Yes, no, when I come to you. Would you brave the odds to do something like this?
No, I'll say no.
Okay. Would you?
No.
Would you?
Definitely no.
Would you?
No, I won't.
Okay, so they all agree. They said no, they're not going to brave the odds to do something like this. So, Mama V, over to you in the studio.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Maxwell Agbagba there with some students at AUCC. It's interesting. Are they saying no because they're on camera? Yeah? Would you say yes? When you go in school like them, you would have said yes.
That I wanted to go, yes.
If you had seen the video that we showed them, would you have still said yes?
That I wanted to go? Yes, I would still go, but use a better alternative.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there you have it. Later on Interactive, we'll get your comments out there on this particular. I don't know, like I don't feel, I'm afraid, I don't feel sorry for them, because I feel that
I don't.
No matter what.
And even the things that they are saying that they said they want asylum because they were bisexuals or gays or something. They were being persecuted in Ghana.
Which is really not true.
Not at all.
That's not the issue.
Not at all.
The laws that we have, unless you're caught in the act.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not doing anything.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Surprised. Now you've lost your hands.
Yeah.
And I hear one of them is going to lose their leg.
Yes. But they don't care once they get to stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But we'll definitely update you.
I pray that they are brought to Ghana. I mean, we have Ghana Federation of the Disabled, so they'll help them to resettle back into our society.
I think if
they'll find how tough the society is.
Some reorientation, if they should come back, will do. Ghana is not a bad place to live at all. Yeah. Okay, so we'll give you an update on this particular story, because there's going to be a ruling in their case. Will they be granted stay, in Canada where they are now, or will they bring them back to Ghana? But let's move over to the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. We're joined by Erastus Asari Donko, who's our colleague in Kumasi, on this story about the Kumasi Technical Institute and some of the students who, went for this inter-school competition at Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and as part of the celebration, because they placed fourth, as part of the celebrations, they decided to block roads and create chaos and clash with the police in the process. Erastus, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes, I hope you're well.
I'm good, by His grace.
We thank God. So the way that I am trying to sum up the story, is that the picture? Am I painting the picture well?
Well, to a certain angle.
Okay, so,
I must say.
So what exactly happened yesterday?
Well, from all the accounts we received, in fact, from this time around, it's not the accounts of the students, but the teachers who escorted them to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for the inter-schools competition. If you remember, KTI has a long history of clashes with not the police alone, but with other student groups as well. But fortunately or unfortunately, they are also great performers in the inter-schools competition and the super zonal, so they cannot be ruled out of such games. Yesterday, they went in there and they placed fourth. And so they were jubilating and the usual jama and stuff, escorted by the teachers, about 10 of them, and together with the school's cadets. Because of the history, this time around they decided to give them teacher escort and cadet escort so that they do not misbehave on the way. Now, we are understanding from the account that at the point when they left the stadium, came close to City Style building, some about 2 kilometers from their campus, they were accosted by the police, all because some students, female students from Refugee in Kumasi, were passing by. And, you know, these students have some fraternization antiques, if you could call them that way. So when another school is passing by, whether they are their rivals or their what they call their friends or they try to joke with them. But they say, Kewegehe, they are their wives. They were playing with them. But the police mistook that for a clash. And so they told them to move. But they wouldn't budge. And so, according to the teachers, some of the police personnel started using tasers, belts, and other things on the students. And that provoked them. And they also started throwing stones at the police. And so they called for reinforcement, chased them, and dispersed them from the stadium. Now, they started running towards their own campus. I understand upon reaching the gates, the police chased them to that end and started firing tear gas and other things. As to the motive of that, we've not been told by the police. And so the students also retaliated by throwing stones, further throwing stones. So you could see stones all around in front of the WAEC office and all that. And so the police are saying they injured 5 of their men and smashed one of their vehicles. And so they chased them into the campus, started firing bullets and tear gas indiscriminately. That was when we came in. And so I saw that part where they were firing rubber bullets, tear gas. At a point in time, the power to the main school compound went off, and so the policemen were going through the dormitories with torchlights and subjecting the students to severe beating. And in fact, there were about 4 of the students who were brought before me unconscious, some bleeding, and all that.
Erasta, just before you go on, there's this particular one that we've been rolling as we're talking to you of a guy who's lying on the floor with somebody trying to revive him. He gets up in the end. What was happening to this particular young man?
These are students who, out of the tear gas, some of them were asthmatic, I understand, through the physical instructor who was attending to them. Some of them were asthmatic, some of them had heart problems or cardiac problems, and so the tear gas and other things ignited the whole thing. So that guy you see on the floor had a deep cut on the brow, that's the eyebrow, and it was as a result of the rubber bullets fired by the police. And so he went out, and they were trying to resuscitate him. There were others, some of them with various degrees of injury. Some of them jumped through windows when they were beaten in the dormitories, and so they had to jump from 2-story high through windows, and so some of them sustained various degrees of injury. Now, you could see blood stains all in the dormitories, and I understand this blood belongs to some of the students who were beaten with sticks, and so they had cuts on their heads and all that.
Okay.
So I must say that it was at the point where the police entered the dormitories that people who were not even part of the procession to the Babaya Sports Stadium had a fair share of the beating, including females in their girls' dormitory.
Erastus, is the morning after this incident, what is new today?
Well, I'm just confirming that the Educational Minister, Dr. Opoku, has been to the school. I'm about some few meters from the school now. We're going to listen to what he has to say. But he is there with the Regional Director of Education, and we are now going to listen to what he has to say. I understand he's addressing students at the main assembly hall of the school.
Okay. Yeah. Quickly, also yesterday, I think you reported that there had been some arrests.
Yes, this morning we got the information from the principal that 48 students, including lecturers, have been arrested. But the police say they arrested 35. So currently, police say 35 students are in their custody at the moment.
Do we
have
know?
14, we have 14 of the students on admission at the Annuum Clinic, close to the school premises.
Okay, so this 48 or 35, do we know the charge?
Well, the police say for now they arrested them on charges of rioting, and so that is what they have for now. But they are going to screen them, and if they are able to link them to any of the disturbances, then they will charge them for court. All
right, Erastus, we'll come back to you later on News Desk with an update with the Education Minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh. But we're grateful for this update that you've given us this morning here on the AM show. That's Erastus Asari-Donko in Kumasi on this report of some students of the Kumasi Technical Institutes, involved in some chaotic incidents. 14 students on admission in the hospital, and according to the school account, 48, but police say 35 of them have been arrested, and they're going to be screening them. We'll have more updates, latest updates on this on News Desk at 10 a.m. Yeah. All right. I think it's a good time to take some entertainment, and we couldn't have Carl Kessie pass through the show this morning as planned, but fortunately he did something at Pantai Hospital, and Becky was there. So we'll bring you entertainment right after this. Stay with us.